Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Bushman. I'm the Lunch Pail Coordinator with Pinellas County Schools, and I'm in the Office of Strategic Partnerships. Welcome to our career conversations. I'd like to welcome the panelists with City. I would like to introduce Kathleen Katsuda. Kathleen has been with City for 31 years and is originally from Buffalo, New York. She currently manages a global team for service engineering and automation for data management efforts. And she's our co-lead for Women in Technology and supports campus recruiting from early identification through graduate efforts. Kathleen, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Well, thank you very much. And we are really happy to be here today, this evening, to showcase our careers, share some insight from several businesses across City, showing you how technology covers several areas. Again, our purpose is to inspire young individuals like yourself to pursue and retain careers in science, technology, engineering, mathematics through networking, learning opportunities, and mentorship by successful leaders. We are very happy to support the schools in our community with our efforts and passionate about technology and introducing students that can make the decisions to get into STEM and be excited about the future. I have an excellent panel here today that I can't wait for you to meet, but I'd like to do a little icebreaker so we can have a little fun first. When we look at technology and how it affects us, what I'd like to do is you can unmute yourself, and I'd like to know how technology affected you from the time you woke up this morning to where you are right now. And don't be shy.
All right, I'll say something. I use my iPhone as my alarm.
Very good.
I've been struggling with internet issues all day.
My Zoom has been going up and down all day.
I use my iPhone to listen to music when I work out.
Great.
Does anybody drive into work? Because your car is probably loaded with computers.
Anybody turn on a light
so
today? Anybody turn on a light today or turn the TV on?
I turned on the TV this morning to check the weather and the news.
Okay. Okay, so as we can see, technology is all around us. And a lot of times when we think about technology careers, this is why we have different people from different businesses today to really share stories and how you can look at technology, how it affects business as well. So let's get started, guys. Let's keep this as interactive as we can, because without you, we wouldn't be here. And I'd like to start by introducing the panel by starting out with Lori Harvey from Costa Rica. Lori, go ahead.
Hopefully my internet remains stable, but thank you, Kathy. I'm glad to be here. My name, as Kathy said, is Lori Harvey. I'm currently in Costa Rica via Canada, and I'm the head of production operations in the CTI organization. So been here at City for 22 years, and along the way have managed to have probably 6 different careers, all within City and all related to some form of technology.
Thank you, Lori. Over to Erin. Did we lose Erin?
I think we may have lost her.
Oh no, so let's skip over to Michelle Benyon. Michelle.
Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Bynon and I am a business unit manager for the Operations Solutions Technology Group. I've been with City for 4 years, predominantly in, I came up through computer programming, project management, and those types of career paths. I have experience other than City working in pharmaceutical companies, mortgage and industry, and in the insurance industry. And I'll pass it over to Monica.
Hi, my name is Monica Westergaard. I've been with City for almost 11 years. I'm on the Global Risk and Controls Technology team, on the chief of staff team for that organization. And I look forward to this session.
And one thing with Monica was my mentee throughout a program we have here at City. She still comes to my staff meetings, and we partner a lot on these initiatives that we're here right now. So we're showing how we stay connected. Drusella, like to introduce Drusella.
Hello, everyone. I am so pleased to be talking to you guys today. Like Kathleen said, my name is Drusilla Daly. I've been at City for almost a year now. I'll hit a year in March. So currently at City, I'm a part of the EONT rotational program. So that means is I get the opportunity to be on 2 teams. So currently I'm on my first rotation, and at the end of my first year, I'll rotate into a different position. So the whole goal of it is just to, give you as much experience as possible at your time at City. And I'm also uber excited to be here because I'm also a Take Stock in Children scholar. So it's really nice to talk to some fellow scholars here.
Thank you, Drusella. Did we get Erin back?
I pinged her. I
So,
think she
can you guys hear
can join
me?
us
There we
with
go.
her phone, but her video, her
All
video
right,
icon,
I think we got Erin.
Good. We can hear you.
Okay, let me see if I can, sorry about that. My VDI just crashed, so
Technology.
happy technology. Let me see if can you guys see my screen again?
Yeah, we're good. Introduce yourself, Erin.
All right, so my name is Erin Cherry. I have been in the IT field for about 8 years, starting out in the military and doing some government contracting work. 3 years ago, I transitioned into the financial services space, doing service management, and I now work for City doing project management type work, primarily authoring procedures and developing web forms. I've been with City for about 1.5 years, so I'm very happy to be here.
All right, so we're ready to get started. So Erin, you can start us off.
Okay, let's see if my computer will cooperate here. All right, so just to get us started off, we want to see who is already interested in joining the STEM career field. So this is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I'm gonna have Debbie start the Zoom poll, and we'll see what kind of responses we get on this. All right, so I'm seeing for the results, I'm seeing 20% yes, 50% maybe, and 30% it's not for you. So that's a great starting point. And the next one, we are going to ask that you use the chat within Zoom and let us know what career path you are interested in. So just to get us started out here, we just want to see what you're interested in doing. It does not have to do with anything with STEM if you don't want. We just want to get to know you guys.
Erin, are you able to see those responses?
No, I cannot.
Okay,
Would
so
you
I'm going to
mind
go ahead
sharing?
and reading them, sure. So we have
All right.
pharmacist, data scientist, physician, lawyer, pediatrician, veterinarian, and lawyer.
Wow. That's a great group. I love it. All right, so we are going to get into our presentation. Michelle is going to talk about some of the different industries that are in STEM. So I will give it over to you, Michelle.
Hi, everybody. So can you advance the screen there? Real quick?
Yep, trying. Here we go.
Yep. So like was mentioned earlier in our conversation, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So basically, it's a composite field of all of those types of disciplines. So STEM workers are people who work in all of these fields plus many, many more. So anything that has to do with computers, mathematics, engineering, all of the physical and social sciences are included in the scope of what is STEM work. So people who write software are considered within STEM. All of your engineering, mechanical and otherwise, are within STEM. Anybody who does chemistry, whether it's biochemistry or anything like that, is in STEM. And if you look around this whole circle around our puff of steam, which looks like STEM, but it's steam, you can see all of the various different kinds of careers and industries that are within scope for STEM. So some things are not on here. So one of the things that you're probably dealing with education careers that are not represented in one of these bubbles, but definitely uses technology now because of all of our remote work, our remote learning capabilities. There's a couple of you who said that you wanted to be lawyers. A lot of the record keeping, data analysis, and things like that are all included within STEM. So anything in healthcare is within scope of this. Anything that has to do with data collection. So if you think about, if you use your iPhone or whatever the case may be, and you put in a search and you go, next thing you know, it's in your feeds, you go, well, how did that happen? It's because there's people doing all of this data mining behind the scenes who are able to connect things that might be of interest to you. So it's very wide and vast. And I would say that pretty much any career that you can think of is part of a STEM industry. And with that, I will turn it over to Lori, who will talk a little bit more about different types of roles that are in technology.
Thank you, as I hopefully come off mute. So if you look at technology, what is technology? Technology has such a broad scope. And I think if you really go back to it, the definition of technology is science or knowledge that we put into practical use in order to solve problems or to invent useful tools. So technology is things created by humans that make our life easier and helps us solve problems. So that covers, and then as Michelle just mentioned, a huge scope for people that had looked at pediatricians and veterinary services, reading digital X-rays, all of that is a technology that's always dependent upon and intertwined with your whatever career. Some people think, in fact, I think most people think that having a career in technology is difficult to achieve. You need to have a degree in computer science, or you need to be an expert coder in the latest language. But the truth is, it's not that difficult, because technology touches your life every day. How many of you have probably helped set up your home Wi-Fi network? Right? Got the password, set up the modem. You could either have it run by a cable or your Wi-Fi. Guess what? You now have the basic understandings of networking and routing. I'm sure there's a few your grandparents are set up their iPad. I still do that. I'm still, help desk 101 for my parents. That is, you are now a help desk, you're in line for a help desk career, or at least know the basics of that. There are so many opportunities within the technology world. And as they span different scopes, you have to realize that all of our lives and our careers are touching or intertwined with some type of technology. So even though you say you might not have a career in technology, you will, because technology touches everything. From the front lines, the hardware technicians, they're responsible for troubleshooting, upgrading, making sure that all of our latest Zoom patches and BDI patches are on our machines so they work. Help desk, your front lines. Help desk is front lines, answering, troubleshooting, having people be able to work. along with business. This is another field that people don't always think of as technology. Business analysts. They are the link between the people and the IT teams in an organization. They leverage data mining, data analysis, and processes and information to solve business problems and ensure that IT runs smoothly. So you have I won't go into them all, but systems engineering, software developers, engineers, web developers, all the way up to the CTO. And that's usually the most senior role in the company. So they all start with just maybe helping someone set up their iPhone. So with that, I'll hand it off. And thank you.
It's funny that you say that about being the front line, Lori. I had an old boss of mine tell me that he thought every single person in technology started out as a help desk technician, and I can tell you that I definitely did. And when we did a poll around our office at the time, a lot of us had started as help desk technicians because it takes very little experience to get in, but you learn such a vast amount of information about IT doing that. So.
And that's the other thing is technology is teachable and transferable. You might know something about one technology, but if you have the aptitude, you can translate that into a different technology. And trust me, we can teach the rest.
For sure. All right, I will pass it off to Monica to talk about diversity.
Yes, hi everyone. And you're going to advance the slide. Okay, good. All right, cool. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about the importance of diversity in the workplace, right? So I've put some bullets here. The first one is on greater innovation and creativity. So behind this, having a work environment filled with employees with different backgrounds, skills, experiences, and knowledge means that there's going to be an increase in innovative and creative ideas. And, another reason is that it's important to hire people from all backgrounds, as everyone is going to have different skills that they can provide and help to enhance a business. By having an inclusive and diverse environment, it allows more wider perspectives to be integrated when brainstorming, problem solving, and developing new ideas in business. The business is going to be boosted because diversity and inclusion are important factors that many people look for when accepting a job offer. People that see your business has people from all backgrounds will be more likely to accept a job offer and feel more welcomed. Working in an environment that promotes diversity and inclusivity will make employees feel happier to be at work, which will reflect on the work produced. Teamwork will also increase productivity. A diverse team can provide ranges of experience and skills and allow other coworkers to learn and work well together. And having a diverse and inclusive team will not only benefit your business internally, but also, most importantly, customers and potential customers, because you'll be able to market your business to those from different backgrounds that reflect those that are already working. Employees are able to promote the business effectively as they're able to relate to the intended target audience with similar backgrounds. And if the business encourages diversity and inclusion, when it comes to finding new talent, there's more to choose from. So it's not only about recruiting a certain type of person that looks a particular way, but rather focusing on skills a person can bring and contribute to the business. And ultimately, by having a diverse and inclusive workforce and managing it successfully, it will lead to higher revenues for the business, because employees will be happier in their job roles, new ideas will arise, productivity will increase, and this will lead to greater successes within the business and allow the business to flourish and stand out amongst its competitors. So that's just a little bit about the importance of diversity and some of the key highlights as to why it's important for different businesses to be diverse.
I do want to brag a little bit on City here, Monica. My team specifically, and I know Kathy touched on how we're global. My team specifically, my boss lives in Belfast, Ireland. Half of my team is in Buffalo, New York. We have a lot in Belfast, a lot in Latin America, just on my individual team. So it has been very fulfilling to work with people from all over the world and see what they bring to the table. It's been really great. All right, I will turn it over to Drusilla.
All righty. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? All righty. Awesome. So once again, my name is Drusilla Daly. I'm so happy to be in front of you guys today. And the reason what I'm going to share today are some of the benefits of being in technology. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about is the demand for people working in technology. So when you're working in tech, a large amount of areas and companies are looking for you. So you have the standard, you have Google, you have Citi, and you also have Microsoft, just those companies like that. But I also wanted to highlight that there are also options to work in humanitarian positions, teaching positions, there's countless research opportunities, and there's even opportunities in not so seen as technology areas such as fashion, whether it's in law, things like that. So when you work in tech, there are a variety of areas and different roles that you can participate in. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the modern office culture. So a lot of tech companies are known for having an open and cool office space. So they're well known for having those appealing offices and things like that. So typically when you hear an office, you might think of gray walls, cubicles, printers, things like that. When you work in a tech office, it'll be very vibrant. There's a lot of open space, and there are even incorporations of like relaxation areas for their employees, whether it's at the end of the day, if there's time to wind down, if you need to take a break from your desk, things like that. So in a lot of tech companies, they recognize that who you work with and where you work is just as important. So the offices are tailored for their employees, and it's tailored for you to have a productive and successful work environment. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the work from home opportunities. So although COVID-19 increased the demand as well as the need for remote work was available prior to the pandemic. So when I say remote work, that means what we did in 2020 when we had to go to school from home. So it's very common for work from home to be available. It is not always an option. It's not necessarily guaranteed, but a lot of tech companies recognize that it is important to have that flexibility for a lot of the people who work there. So the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because when you're working in tech, your company recognizes that having that option to choose what is comfortable for you is very important. Because if you're comfortable, you'll produce more quality work and you'll just have a better time. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, which kind of piggybacks off of what Monica and Erin were talking about, is having global teammates. So when you're working in tech, you can and more than likely will work alongside people from all around the world, and you'll be meeting and working with a lot of people from around the world. So as an example, I work with 2 teammates that are located in Hungary, which is in Europe. I have never been to Europe, but because they're a part of my team, on a day-to-day, I'm interacting with someone that's halfway across the world. If I wasn't working for technology, I might not have that opportunity. And it's really important to have that insight from multiple cultures and different people, because like mentioned before, it's a necessity for producing quality work. So those are the 4 things I wanted to highlight. Working in tech has a lot more benefits, but I think these are 4 appealing things, and I hope they're appealing to you guys as well. So with that, I will hand it back to Kathleen.
All right. So what I'd like to do is open the floor now for any questions that you may have. Anything we've covered. I hope we've changed your minds to really see that no matter what profession you're in, there's technology involved. So we'd like to ask our guests for some questions. All you gotta do is use the raise the hand in Zoom, or just start talking, unmute. Come on. Awfully quiet. I wanted to add to what Erin was saying and what Drusilla was saying. Lori's in Costa Rica. We talk all the time. The power of technology. We have teams all around. We're a global company. It's not set to just here. And when, I heard Erin say about Buffalo, I know the Buffalo Bills lost this week, but my heart is still always in Buffalo. So we do have, that global presence. So. Samantha, Sophia, Daniel, come on.
So I just put a question in the chat. Maybe they might respond to
Okay.
this. Does anyone know someone who works in technology or a STEM field? And what field is that? Do you have family members or friends? You can put that in the chat or unmute yourself, turn your camera on.
This is Shania and Shania's mom. We have a question.
Sure.
I know you guys are so into technology and things like that. I was just talking to Shania about the craze. They're all on Instagram and TikTok. Do you guys know about like NFTs and the wave of that and how that may be in the future? Because that will be for them in the future.
Okay, stump the panel.
And so NFTs,
Who wants to take that one? I mean, who wants to take that one? I'm thinking how to, but thanks for getting the party going.
It's like to have an item and then
Yes.
the NFT has their own world and it's so crazy, but it's the kids are seeing it and they have no idea about it. So I didn't know if you guys, it was so quiet. I just figured I thought it out there.
You did good. We're great for getting the party started. Lori, you want to start that one? I mean, we can all
just because I know what the acronym means. The whole, wow, that's a huge scope, right? Crypto and all of that stuff is so huge. City is definitely, as an organization, involved looking at it. There's been lots of talk about how we will enter that field. I will be completely honest and say, as a bank, even though we work in technology, City is not ever going to be cutting edge on some of this because we have regulatory, legal, and other obligations. But as an individual, I have spent time, because the first thing I went was like, I know nothing about this. And I don't like not knowing about something that is, affecting a craze across the world. Or you see, Bitcoin's up, Bitcoin's down, they're mining, all of these terms that I really didn't know about. So I did take some time and did a couple online podcasts or whatever you want to call them, again, technology, to learn a little bit about it. And I think it is something, like you said, Shania's mom, that it is something that's going to be very prevalent in our future, and especially in our kids' future, as it's, people like myself who are a bit older and more antiquated in technology, we found it difficult. But when you grow up with it, I think it's going to be a lot easier. And I think it will be something that will in some way be present throughout as a new technology or a new, I don't even know what you call it, but, business throughout the careers of everybody that's coming up.
No,
okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think what's really important and what's exciting about that question in and of itself is that it just shows how, technology is always evolving and always moving forward. I mean, I can remember my first cell phone, you carry it around in a suitcase basically. And now it's something that you fit in your pocket. And this probably has more power, more computing power in it than, some big computers from 25 years ago. So I think that it's really, really important to recognize that there's always something new on the horizon. And that's what makes any kind of involvement in technology, even if you are, designing the marketing materials for it or whatever the case may be, really kind of fun and stimulating because it always is changing and evolving.
I mean, if you think of when in 1969, when we sent, the man on the moon, our cell phones have more power in it than that rocket had that sent our, humans, to the moon. And we thought back then, it's like, wow, imagine now. It's just It's just really interesting.
I know there's a student who said he wanted to leave, which is, he said he was going to be in the medical field. I think that the introduction of robotics and things like that to have non-invasive surgeries or minimally invasive surgeries is just amazing. When you think about it, people can do entire heart surgeries, through a vein in the leg to crack somebody's, chest open or things like that. So, I think that it's important to recognize that, while we are all in banking in this forum, the technology field just about hits everybody.
I agree.
And I will second that it is always evolving, and that's why it is really important to try and stay current and try and be embracive, even if it doesn't touch you. I'm not sure I'm gonna go buy Bitcoin, but I really want to know what it's about.
Are there any other questions from our students who are on this meeting? We did have a couple.
Can they also put questions in the chat as well, Debbie?
Sure, yeah. If you are unable to unmute yourself, please feel free to put your question in the chat. Also, if you would let me know what high school you attend, that way we can mark your attendance. But if you are unable to mute yourself, you can put your questions in the chat. There are no other questions at this time yet. So Erin, do you want me to launch that poll again?
Yeah, so let's go back to our poll. And now that we know that, STEM includes medical fields with the sciences and how much is incorporated, let's ask again and see what our poll tells us if you are interested in joining the STEM career field.
All right, we did have a couple of students who have left, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. And there are the results.
56% yes.
So we went up.
We went up.
Yes.
And the people that said, no, I want to talk to you in 5 years. I originally was going to school to be a teacher, and I remember my father telling me, anybody can be a teacher. Don't you want to get into technology? And I've never looked back. And I've taken business roles, like Lori said, we worked all around the bank. And in our environment, you can go wherever you want, but no matter what you touch, even veterinarians, doctors, this isn't a career for me. Technology is always going to be part of your life and part of your work.
For sure.
And it's nice to see the different high schools that are represented. Welcome. And we really would like your feedback if you can get back to Debbie. And, because we've done videos and things like that before. But we want to keep this partnership going. And there's a lot of things that we can help out with. So just ask us. So Erin, if it doesn't look like there's any more questions, anything from the panel to do a quick wrap? Anybody want to bring anything up before we close the call?
Nothing from me, Kathy. I think we covered it.
Okay. Debbie, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kathleen. Well, thank you, City, for joining us tonight and sharing about the different fields in technology and the different opportunities and how technology touches every part of our life. And even in a field that you thought might not include technology, it actually does, from attorneys to doctors. So thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and I can I stop sharing so we could see each other's faces and say goodbye? Thank you for joining us. Again, if you have not, please put your school that you attended. If your screen has your name, we want to make sure it's the correct name because we want to make sure we mark your attendance. So if that's not your name, you can put that in the chat, and that way you get credit for the mentor session. Again, thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing with us the opportunities in STEM and in technology. And who knows, maybe one of these students will become a future employee at City. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you again for
Bye,
this
everyone.
opportunity.
So much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.